the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Happening now, a natural gas leak in Arlington County causing some foul odors, traffic backups, and major concern, why firefighters say not to worry. And Target closing 2 stores in the DMV, how long consumers can grab final purchases and stretch their dollar. And later, March Madness is underway for teams in the DMV, and we have team coverage on what you need to know. And tonight we start with breaking news, a gas leak in Arlington, Virginia. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Mark Hall. The leak is still active, and Arlington Fire and EMS say that the odor can be smelled throughout Boston. Crews are working to find the leak near the intersection of Fairfax Drive and Wakefield Street. That's where we find our Daniel Hamburg. He joins us now with the latest. Daniel, what can you tell us?
Well, Mark, off the top, crews are not concerned for anyone's safety. They say they still are looking for where that gas leak is coming from, but all of the air quality readings they've had so far are totally normal. You can see right now crews from Washington Gas working to dig up those lines right there. This happened around 1:40 p.m. Crews were dispatched for this gas leak, where initial reports were for construction work in the area that may have struck a gas line. No hazards were identified, and the fire department is in a stay-and-wait phase working with Washington Gas. Again, crews are digging up the road here to get to the 6-inch line that's underground. They'll have to clamp that off, and then they'll proceed to identify the pipe with the leak in it. If you're in the Boston area, you will likely smell the gas in the air. That's on purpose and not dangerous.
That is added to the gas, so you'll be able to smell it. Don't be alarmed. If you begin to feel symptoms, lightheaded, shortness of breath, please do call 911. But if you're just smelling an odor, the chances are, if you're in the Boston area, it's going to be a residual from the incident we're working here right now.
And that residual he's talking about, that lingering smell of gas, likely for several hours as crews still have to get underground here. But again, there were no evacuations here, no real cause for panic, but you will smell that foul odor in the air as crews work to repair the lines. We're live in Boston. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Daniel, thank you. 3 men are dead, 2 others are hurt after an early morning crash involving 2 cars on Rock Creek Parkway. Park police say that a Lexus SUV ran a traffic stop and then hit a Honda sedan. The 3 men inside were all pronounced dead at the scene. The 2 people inside the Lexus SUV, a man and a woman, were both transported to local hospitals. Police say the man sustained non-life-threatening injuries. However, the woman was initially transported with non-life-threatening injuries, but when she arrived at the hospital, her injuries were deemed life-threatening. There are no updates right now on their conditions.
We have policies and procedures that guide our actions. Our officers are required to abide by those policies and procedures, and in this instance, the officer determined that the vehicle that fled did not meet the criteria for a pursuit, and so they did not pursue the vehicle.
The identities of the victims have not been released, and police would not detail who was driving any of the vehicles that is part of the ongoing investigation. The crash happened less than a mile away from the area of the initial traffic stop. As of right now, we don't know why the car was initially stopped. The Parkway reopened just after the noon hour. Well, firefighters recovering after responding to a fire at a historic home in Old Town Alexandria today. It happened on South Fairfax Street, just a few blocks from the waterfront. 1 man escaped as flames tore through the top floor. Now, we're told that the injured firefighter is expected to be okay. And officials say that given the heavy wind today, it was a challenge to tackle the smoke and flames, but no other buildings were impacted.
Fortunately, as you can see on the left side as we're facing it, there's a good space between there, and on the other side, which is hard to see from here, there is a couple foot space in there. So the wind actually kind of pushed it away from the nearest exposure. But yeah, we were fortunate that we were able to contain it to the top floor of the fire unit.
And the fire marshal is still investigating the cause.
It makes me scary. It's scary.
It's kind of crazy to know that we won't know.
Well, tonight, it's been nearly a month since a young Montgomery County woman died in a high-rise apartment fire in Silver Spring. And tonight, investigators say that we may never know what started the fire. Fire and smoke forced the evacuation of more than 400 people back on February 18th. It left 89 apartments condemned. The fire is considered an accident, but learning the cause of the fire may never be known has upset a lot of people, including the family of the young woman who died. DC News Now's Dave Laval has more.
I feel angry, bad, and really mad.
Cesar Diaz still mourns the loss of his daughter Melanie. The 25-year-old died in the February 18th fire at the Arrive Silver Spring Apartments where she lived. Diaz is upset the cause of the fire may never be known.
Somebody has to pay for. Have to pay for my daughter's death.
Montgomery County Fire and Rescue investigators found several possible causes for the fire, but they don't know if they'll ever be certain as to what sparked it.
Make me scary. It's scary.
Khalid Kafafi lived just a few doors down from the 7th floor apartment where the fire took place.
It's very bad. A lot of smoke.
The occupants of the apartment, according to an agency spokesman, tried to extinguish the fire themselves. Plus, someone left doors to the apartment and balcony open, which helped the fire and smoke spread.
Everybody woke up to people yelling fire, fire.
Jason, who did not want us to use his last name, lives on the 11th floor with his girlfriend. Firefighters said the agency spokesman ran into residents who fled the fire and smoke while they climbed stairwells that also filled with smoke. Plus, some people collapsed on firefighters as they crawled down the hallways in similar conditions. Those that survived are not happy to learn what caused all the damage may go unknown.
You don't know what caused the fire.
It's kind of crazy to know that we won't know what the actual reasoning was. It's kind of shocking, to be honest.
And the family of Melanie Diaz is flying up from Florida to be in Annapolis on Thursday, and they will attend the first hearing on a bill to put fire extinguishers in all high-rise buildings that don't have automatic sprinklers in them, like the Arrive complex, by this July 1st. Well, taking a look live outside, this is a live look. We certainly had another chilly and windy day, but could the warmth be returning soon? Let's head over now to meteorologist Damon Matson with a check on the forecast. And Damon, is it true that there is a warm-up for St. Patrick's Day?
Well, that's the big question a lot of folks have been asking about. It's been a chilly stretch of weather here, no question, as we've gone through most of this week, and a lot of that is due to the winds. Now, we have been calming things down, but it is not completely calm out there just yet. Again, those wind speeds, they have been steadily dropping, but we still have had some occasional wind speeds above 20 miles an hour. Martinsburg, Hagerstown, Manassas, examples of that right now. And D.C. actually just saw a pretty decent wind gust roll through just a short time ago. But again, we are losing those strongest wind gusts here, and we're going to continue to see even those steady wind speeds drop down below 10 miles an hour by the time we get into the late evening and early overnight. And because the wind has been lightening up a little bit, well, we saw signs that warmer weather is on the way. As we jumped into the 50s, we're still there across the eastern half of the DMV, 40s as you go back west of Interstate 81. So not all that warm just yet. And as things do calm down and we see a very clear sky continuing to hold with us into the evening time, it will be cooling off. So just be prepared for another slightly chilly night, but at least it will be chilly without the wind. Then tomorrow, yeah, it does look like things are going to warm up quite a bit. Just how warm are we talking? And could we be dealing with some unsettled weather before the week is done? We'll let you know coming up in your full forecast here in just a bit.
Well, Target says that they'll soon close 2 of their stores in the DMV, citing underperformance. Well, DC News Now's consumer reporter Ben Dennis joins us live in Falls Church, Virginia. And Ben, how are shoppers reacting, and do these closures signal a trend?
Well, first, Mark, good evening. Target says that they're going to close this South Washington Street location in Falls Church, Virginia in the middle of May. Plus, another location is going to close up 15 miles away in College Park, Maryland. Shoppers and staff, they've got mixed feelings, but consumer analysts say don't be so surprised if more brick and mortar big box stores close up.
It's upsetting.
That's how one Target employee reacted to the news. His store is on the chopping block. The retail giant announcing they will close 4 U.S. locations on May 13th. 2 in the DMV, 1 in Minneapolis, another in Philadelphia.
I think they should not be closing because ultimately they want to make sure that customers are well served.
So it's low staff inside?
Low staff inside, and I believe we still need to have people who are going to be working and contributing and part of the community.
But that may not be where consumer experience is trending. Business Insider says they found big box stores in the U.S. announced over 800 locations will close this year.
There's some things about brick and mortar you just can't replace.
What is going on?
We knew during the pandemic that there was a real shift.
That's American University professor Ron Hill. He's analyzed the retail space for decades.
And when COVID-19 hit, people were afraid to go back into stores. And so many of them had already changed their behaviors. When it all shakes out, what's going to happen? Are we going to have any bricks and mortars at all? Or are we going to be mostly online? And that's a question still for the ages.
And these 2 DMV area Targets closing, they're anchors to mixed-use buildings. Part of the reason why developers draw people there in the first place. Could it be more apartment competition with all the complexes popping up?
There's a problem because you can't put one on every corner. Unlike Starbucks or I guess gas stations, we're just not able to keep them all in business at one time.
And a spokesperson for Target says that they don't take this decision to close these locations in the DMV very lightly, adding that they will work to accommodate employees who are impacted here at other Target locations. But whether you're shopping online or at brick and mortar stores, these days there are digital coupons aplenty to utilize to stretch your dollar. In Falls Church, Virginia, Ben Dennis, DC News Now.
Ben, thank you. And happening tonight, people in Frederick want answers and assurances after this month's deadly tanker explosion. The Route 15 crash killed the truck driver and set neighboring homes and cars on fire. Community leaders are coming out to talk with people and get answers to their questions. They're meeting tonight at the Frederick High School. DC News Now's Michaela Newton covers Frederick County for us, and she's there tonight. And Michaela, what can you tell us?
Yeah, well, we've been following this story since it first happened 2 weeks ago on March 4th when a tanker truck carrying gasoline crashed alongside Route 15 in Frederick, causing a major explosion. And that explosion killed the truck driver and set nearby homes and cars on fire. As a result, a family was displaced from their home, and crews have worked on treating the soil of the area, and the community has come together to help those affected by the explosion. But there are questions that haven't been answered, like what caused the crash, if there will be any changes to prevent something like this from happening again, and if there are any updates with the soil or water in the area. So tonight here at 6:30 at Frederick High School, we'll be hearing from both city and county leaders who will be answering those specific questions from people here tonight. Reporting in Frederick, Maryland, I'm Michaela Newton for DC News Now.